Welcome back to Theoretical Nonsense. Today we're going to be discussing Season 4, Episode 21, The Agreement Dissection. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the human bladder, Greek versus Italian food, all you'd ever want to know about kissing, and so much more. Stay tuned. Welcome to Theoretical Nonsense, the Big Bang Theory watch-along podcast. No PhD required.
We're the podcast that recaps all the episodes of The Big Bang Theory. No spoilers.
So hop into your favorite spot
Make yourself a grasshopper
and enjoy the ride. Hello there, Ryan.
Hello, Rob. How's it going?
Amazing, because we're going to talk Season 4, Episode 21, The Agreement Dissection.
Oh yeah, this is a hell of an episode. I tell you what.
It built up to this one too, like
Yeah.
how we said with the foreshadowing and everything like that. Like we knew she was going to take a look at that.
And you mentioned it, and I'm like, shit, she is gonna get into that.
I know. I watched this with pleasure like 6 or 7 times. So good. Oh my god. And I found some really good IQ points.
Yeah, me too. Stuff that like I knew, but I didn't know everything about. So like I learned quite a bit, and I have one that's like a. I'm not even calling it a failed IQ point because I didn't set it up as an IQ point, just like a fun non-IQ point, fun point. So
Yeah.
some fun stuff.
This is going to be a great conversation. Thanks everyone for joining us. So before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. Send us an email and we'll read it out loud at theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and follow us on YouTube. And before we just dive into it, we did just get not just get an email, but we got an email from Chris, who emailed us last time too. Chris got a little bit of ahead, but sorry, but we actually are a little bit further ahead in the recording. So we had actually already recorded episode 20, the herb garden germination, and he sent us an email with some fun facts about it. So thanks, Chris, and I'm going to read your email out right now.
Some fan IQ points.
Yeah.
Fan
He
cues.
says, hello, when 419 released yesterday, I remember that I was going to email y'all about the following episode, and so have watched through it and thought I would share a few tidbits about it that popped out to me. Also, this is a fairly long email, so apologies in advance. No worries, Chris. We like long emails. It means you care. And he says, my brain will not shut up. First, involving Wii Archery, each round of what they are playing is supposed to be 5 arrows per person. Second, the Sierra Mist that Leonard is drinking in the cafeteria, it was discontinued in 2023 and replaced with Starry, PepsiCo's way to resolve an issue with the name and sales, arguably one that they caused. Third, the origin of train of thought, which we did talk about. In 1651, philosopher Thomas Hobbes used it alongside Train of Imaginations in his book, Leviathan, which, yeah, Brian, you found.
I don't think we talked about it being connected to imaginary train. I don't know, train of imaginations. But I like that saying too. That's really cool.
This was before trains and meant retinue in that period. Fourth, through looking at mimetic theory, I ran into a page that talks about how it, on its own, does not resolve negative imitation, but that mimetic theory does. Fifth, the topic of their experiment, it would have been 2 to 3 weeks for her to know that she was pregnant after her and Sheldon went after it. And it had only been 24 hours. A bit off. Yeah, that's actually a really good catch.
Definitely is. You know, I feel like when Penny hears it, she knows it's nonsense. She's like, what the fuck? But absolutely that it's a key giveaway that she's not pregnant. Something's up.
Yeah. And then he gave us some sources, so we appreciate citing your sources as always. And then he finishes the email off by saying, I wanted to thank you both for your podcast and reading our emails, as well as for going into such niche topic. Will be a lifelong fan. Hope y'all keep going. Best regards, Christopher. So, all right. Thanks for the email.
You know, I was going to say that I don't think I noticed them drinking Sierra Mist, but I remember hearing about that lawsuit, and it was something like an influencer had the name Sierra Mist, and they got into it like they let the name expire, and then Pepsi. I don't know. I feel like sometimes corporations feel like they just get whatever they want, and they didn't get it that time, so they had to change the name to Starry. And I remember seeing Starry at grocery store. So I'm like, what the fuck is this new Starry? And somebody's like, it's Sierra Mist. I'm like, what? But kind of an interesting tidbit that things changed in the last 15 years, I suppose, with what they're drinking. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
thank
actually
you.
did not hear about that at all because I don't drink soda. So I don't really pay attention to any of that, or maybe I heard it and just didn't care.
I feel like when they rebranded it, they did a big push and it was like all over the supermarket. So like I don't drink a lot of soda either. But like I remember seeing it on end caps and stuff in the middle of aisles. Like they were really like try the new Starry, and then it was like it wasn't new. It was just rebranded. But I don't think I don't even think I even tried it. So I just remember seeing it. Okay, so we are on the agreement dissection. It aired April 28th, 2011, directed by Marcus Sandrowski. Writers are Chuck Lorre, Bill Prady, and Stephen Milaro. And we open up in the apartment bathroom, and Sheldon comes running, needing to pee. And there's some back and forth between him and Leonard, where he's saying, "Can I come in?" And Leonard's saying, "I can't hear you." He's like, "I said this." He's like, "I'm in the shower," and back and forth. Although I did think it was funny that Sheldon says it's a moot point, and I have to say that I always remember what moot point means because of Joey and Friends, who knew what the word moot meant because he says it's a moot point or a moot thought because it's what a cow would say, moo. And like, oh, yeah,
It's a cow's opinion.
it's a
It
cow's
doesn't
opinion.
matter.
Nobody cares, moo.
It's a moo point.
Yeah. So that's how I always remember moot point. It's moo. Oh. So Leonard can't hear him, and he comes in, and Sheldon says it's an emergency. He has to use the bathroom. The emergency is he had a 32-ounce banana smoothie and has a 16-ounce bladder. And so this is my first IQ point, because and this is where later on we get into whether or not this was an emergency. I would say it was not an emergency because what we get here is we start off with information from henryfordhealth.com. The average bladder holds 10 to 18 ounces of liquid, which is 1.5 to 2 cups of liquid. Healthline says a little bit over that, 16 to 24 ounces. And technically, the bladder is very, very stretchy and can hold more. It just will be very uncomfortable, and you risk premature urination without what's it called? Uh, yeah, not involuntary urination. There we go. It's involuntary. However, if it does stretch too much, I was seeing one Quora forum where somebody said that their bladder held 4 liters of liquid and it didn't burst. However, I have seen, I believe it was a Grey's Anatomy where somebody's they couldn't pee. There was an obstruction and they weren't able to get the obstruction out and their bladder filled until it popped. And that can happen in rare cases. And I remember in the show they go, she's like, "It's better, it's okay." And they're like, "You're gonna feel some relief and then you're gonna feel a lot of pain. We're gonna get you something for the pain." She's like, "It's hurting." So apparently like it can rupture and it feels good for a second because the relief is there and then the pain kicks in. So anyways, we know that the bladder holds between 10 to 18 ounces, 16 to 24 ounces of liquid. And then I went to a website about smoothies. And the one I went to is spruceeats.com. And I was comparing how many ounces of liquid are in a smoothie versus solid. And would the smoothie, he's saying 32 ounces of smoothie. That does not equate to 32 ounces of liquid. And they say a good smoothie is 1 part liquid to 2 parts fruits, veggies to zero point 0.5 parts yogurt or other thickener. So if you break this down, a 32-ounce smoothie would be about 9.14 ounces of liquid, 18.28 ounces of fruit, and 4.57 ounces of yogurt. My guess is that if the 9.14 ounces of liquid went through him, that is still less than the lower side of what a bladder could hold, which means that he would have had to have drinking other stuff. It looks like they're waking up, so it was either the night before or it doesn't make sense. Gotten up in the middle of the night and chugged a few glasses of water. The smoothie itself would not have been to blame for him having an emergency. And in a court of law, I would say if he came in saying I had an emergency, I drank a 32-ounce smoothie, that doesn't qualify as an
Yeah,
emergency.
you bring up a good point. Why it did seem like the morning because it seemed like they were pouring coffee afterwards and everything. It's like, why did Sheldon have a 32? Unless he decided to get up early to get a smoothie in the morning,
And
which
chug it really quickly.
that seseems not very Sheldon-esque.
It's out of place for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on. There's some questions there, and
It's
yeah,
probably even less liquid too, because I was thinking, that part of that 9 ounces, how much what was water or juices, did you say,
um
or was that all 9 ounces? Because the
9 ounces of
fruit,
liquid for a 32-ounce smoothie.
because the fruit would create liquid too. Like when you blend it, you're kind of juicing it a little bit. So
Yeah,
technically, it would go up a little bit. But a banana smoothie, you can't juice a banana,
yeah.
so it's even
I've got
less
questions.
liquid.
And I'm thinking maybe a couple more ounces, but not emergency bladder. And like we were saying, did he get up? Because I looked it up, and what I saw was that your liquids usually go through your body within 12 hours, depending on many, many factors. How much other liquids you have in your body. Actually, it said 12 to 24 hours, but I can say that personal experience. I drink coffee and like 2 to 3 glasses of water during breakfast. So about 20 ounces of liquid, if not 20 to 30. And usually it takes like an hour to two to kick in. And like I get ready, I drive to work, I do some work stuff, and then I have to pee. So, like, did he get up extra early and drink that smoothie?
Or he had it the night before.
He had the night, but in that case, he probably
And then he just fell asleep, and then he woke up really having to go.
yeah.
But
But then,
again,
like,
that doesn't seem like something Sheldon would do.
it's a bedtime
I think a
smoothie,
smoothie in general doesn't seem like something that Sheldon would
right?
do.
It's all out of place. Kind of a weird one. I don't qualify it as an emergency, unless he had had a couple glasses of water to work it out too. He's like that
Yeah.
smoothie made me thirsty. Anyways, I don't think that his smoothie was an emergency because I don't think there was enough liquid in it, and because not all 32 ounces is liquid, and it would have had the whole thing seems questionable when he drank it, how he drank it, and why he chose that point in time to go pee. So that was my point on his smoothie. So after
I actually have some things to add on to that because
ooh,
I did an IQ point on this one too.
PIQ.
Yeah. Well, I didn't find a lot of information. I mean, I found a lot of information about the bladder, but it started with is you already mentioned it, the bladder size. I didn't realize that 16 ounces was the average size. So I was like, okay, end of IQ point, figured it out. So I decided to find some fun facts about the bladder. So
Yeah.
I found this on livescience.com. So when empty, the your bladder is the size of a pear.
Oh, wow.
And generally, it can hold 16 ounces of urine comfortably for about 2 to 5 hours. So he probably just overextended that, or he waited beyond that 5 hour mark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's normal to urinate 6 to 8 times a day. And that's why I actually texted you a couple weeks ago to see if you could do a pee counter. I don't know if you want to share or if you even remembered to do it.
Yeah, I did. I didn't get that many. And I tell you, I've been
Are you
drinking extra.
dehydrated? Are
I
you?
I maybe my pee isn't like I know if you're dehydrated, it's like really really dark, like almost gold. And mine's usually watery, like bright, yeah, some bright yellow to it because I take some vitamins. I think it's usually the vitamin B gives it the bright color. But I've been drinking extra water because Kelsey read that she's supposed to be drinking like 3 or 4 64-ounce Stanleys a day. And she's like, we're going to see what we can do.
Wait,
Uh,
360 ounces? That's like
yeah.
more than a gallon.
Uh, for
Because
per
isn't a
day,
gallon 128 gallons and
yeah.
60?
And I'm gonna look this up. So they say 8 8-ounce glasses, which is only 60. That doesn't make sense.
That's half a gallon.
Yeah. How many? This says 96 ounces. So
That makes more sense
three
than well.
32-ounce Stanleys. That's what it is. Ours are 32
Oh,
ounces. Not,
okay.
yeah,
not
it's
60. She has a
64.
60-ounce
We
Stanley.
it's a fucking growler. She has like um I'm bad at math, so but it's a 32-ounce Stanley. It's one of the main ones with the handle. And so we've been trying to drink three to four of them just to see what we can get. And I can tell you, getting three is very, very difficult. Two, I do about two. That's really not that hard, especially because I wake up and have like two glasses in the morning and like right as I wake up. And then I usually have one or two, a Stanley while I'm working, and then that last Stanley while I'm making dinner and stuff. But that third Stanley, like I can't do that. Anyways, I feel like I'm pretty hydrated, and usually I go 5 to 6 times a day.
Nice. That's a little less than normal. That doesn't for the amount of water you drink, that doesn't seem
Where's
like
it all
enough.
going?
Yeah, your body's just absorbing it.
Or
I am
night sweats. I have
yeah.
night sweats, so maybe it all leaks
Oh,
out
there
there.
it is.
There we go.
Your body holds on
64
to
ounces of
it. Oh
sweat.
gosh. I am definitely on that high end. I was every day, like, granted, I'm conscious for a long time. I wake up at 5 and I don't go to bed till like 10 p.m. So I'm up for like a pretty long
uh,
time. So I'm definitely in like the 11-12 range.
hmm,
So I go a lot.
a lot. I
Yeah.
was gonna say,
That's almost like once an hour.
do you ever feel like
More.
you forget to pee?
No, I've
No.
never been that type. I've
Uh,
actually heard that that's actually a sign of ADHD. Like
yeah, makes a lot of sense.
it's a sign of that because like a lot of people don't know this, but like hyper focus is actually part of ADD. Like where
Hmm.
you're so hyper focused on one singular thing, it's actually part of that spectrum of ADD. So people actually that with ADD will forget to pee.
I've been diagnosed with ADHD, and like not super severe, and like apparently there's different types. When I was diagnosed it was ADD, not ADHD, but it's like there's now levels of ADHD. Like there's a type where you can't control your acting out, and there's a type where like it's just your brain works differently, and like you can't keep focus or you hyper focus. And I kind of got started because I hyper focus, and I will forget to eat for 24 hours. And people are like, "Have you eaten today?" I'm like, oh, "Yeah, that's something I'm supposed to do." Oopsie daisies.
I'm a fatty. I will
I'm,
never forget to eat. My life is food.
I and like I love eating. I love food, but I'll get to work, and like in my brain, it's like it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and suddenly it's like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, well, it's late now. Should I even bother? And I like it used to piss my ex-wife off. She's like, how can you? I'm like, I don't know, but usually a good way is like making schedules and making sure like okay it's 6 o'clock I have like have an alarm I have to start making dinner because if I don't I will forget to do it. So it's weird. And I'm like hungry, like if somebody mentions like yeah I am hungry, in fact I'm feeling kind of sick because I'm so hungry. Like oops.
Man.
It's
For me, it's the exact opposite. All I think about is, I mean, granted, I'm a chef, so
yeah.
obviously all I think about is food. But it's funny because I've been packing my lunch just because it's like I know I'm a chef and I know I'm supposed to eat all the food that I cook and everything like that. But I'm trying to like I will gain 1,000 pounds if I do that. If I eat the food that I make at work,
uh
like testing everything. So that's why I got in the habit of bringing my own lunch. But the problem is I have to hide it because it's in plain sight. I'm working on like a spreadsheet. I'm just like staring at the food.
my
Like,
lunch.
so I'm not that hungry, but like, oh, it's right there. Maybe I could just nibble and then soon I'm just like, so, so I actually have to hide it, like plain out of sight, just so I don't like constantly like think about it. Yeah, that's
So
how much of a fatty I am.
I'm
That's why I work
guessing
out so much.
that's fair. You do work out a lot. You look
I
good,
have
man. So
to.
yeah, you do good. Uh, I'm guessing that's probably why I like. Sometimes like during class, I'm like I could pee. In fact, I kind of have to. Oh, class is starting, and then I'm home. Like I had to pee like 4 hours ago. What happened? Like, uh-oh, it's hurting now. It's extreme pain.
Well, this segues into my next part of the IQ point. Sorry, everyone.
Ooh,
IQ point's not even over yet.
this is a good IQ point,
You are
multi-point.
learning so much about the bladder, and let this be a life lesson to all of you. Holding your urine for a short period of time, usually up to 1 hour, is typically okay, according to doctors. However, Ryan, this one's for you.
Oh no.
Protracted and repeated holding of urine may cause overexpansion of the bladder capacity, transmission of excess pressure into the kidneys, and the inability to completely empty the bladder. These problems in turn may lead to a UTI, also known as a urinary tract infection. It'll also potentially lead to cystistus and deterioration of your kidney function. Also, inability to fully empty your bladder could lead to bladder stones. So
Oh
bladder
no.
stones, think kidney stones, but with the
Yeah.
bladder, are caused by a concentration of urine that crystallizes in the bladder. Most are small and can barely be seen to the human eye, but some get very big. The largest bladder stone was 7 inches long, 5 inches thick, and 3.7 inches tall. And for those on the metric system, that is 17.9 centimeters by 12.7 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters. It weighed 4.2 pounds or 1.9 kilos, according to Guinness Book of World Records.
Did they had to have surgically removed that?
Oh, yeah,
Like that's not
definitely.
going out the
Yeah,
pee-pee,
that's not.
right? Yeah.
That was probably what Grey's Anatomy like built that shit off of.
Yeah.
But
Why did the
Ryan,
bladder burst?
like,
Well, there's a big stone here.
so basically, what I'm saying is, Ryan, remember to pee.
I'll put
Please
some more
remember to pee.
alarms on my phone. Like
I
Ryan
know.
pee. Be like in the middle of a meeting. Sorry, it's pee-pee time.
I gotta
I
go.
gotta go.
Don't want that bladder stone. But that's all I got on the bladder.
Nice. Good IQ point. In fact, I would say that's a combo point. I think that's a 2-pointer.
Oh, should we call that a twosie?
Yeah, I think that's a twosie.
It's a doozy of a
A
toozy.
twosie, a twosie. We don't get many of those. It's exciting. Okay, so Leonard says Sheldon might not want to pee. He's not alone in the shower, and Priya pops out. And bathroom privacy is suspended in the case of force majeure. And what he's facing is Sheldon is facing is a very majeure force. There we go. And Leonard says, "Oh, you can't wait for 2 minutes for us to finish." And Priya says, "Just let the man pee." And
Well, he first freaks out that she's even there, and it's so
yeah,
funny. I love that, like, Priya is unfazed by Sheldon even being in there. She's like, "Hi, Sheldon."
that's what.
It's, and I think it's because, like, I don't know if it was a happy accident or just a really well written episode, because Sheldon is no threat to any woman. They know, like, he does not care about, like,
Yeah,
about the lady body parts. Like, he does not care.
he might be annoying, but he is not a threat. He is not
He's not going to be
interested.
googling you. Like, I googling you. He's not going to be doing any of that. He's not going to be thinking about you sexually.
It's like
He's
having a
just,
dog in the bathroom with you. The dog does not care, right? It's got
yeah,
other things to worry about.
yeah.
Or a cat, whatever, if you're a cat. Um, and I have to say, I really like that about her. And, like, that's a good point that she knows Sheldon's not a threat, but she seems so happy, and she's like, just let him pee, whatever. Like, I really like that free spirit nature. Like, it's all good. And
Yeah.
it's so weird because it's kind of contradictory. Not to say she can't have different personalities, but compared to what we've seen her in other episodes, I would not expect that from her in the shower.
She
So
seemed a little uptight.
yeah, she seemed a little uptight. And this, like, I'm like, oh, I think I kind of like her. And then, like, there's like parts where I'm like, I don't like her. I like her. So interesting character. Interesting. But I did like her. Like, hi, Sheldon. Like, oh, just let him pee. That's ballsy because I'd be like, even if like a girl came in while I'm showering, like,
You
are
got
you
to go.
are you peeing there? Okay. Like, I don't think I'd be that perky about it. I'd
Yeah.
probably allow it, but I don't think I'd be perky about it. Okay, so Sheldon can't do it. He gives up, and then he's banging on Penny's place and barges in to use the restroom. So, get to the intro. Next, we are at the apartment again, and Priya and Leonard are in the kitchen, giggling, some pre-shower, and what we find out pre-coitus. They had sex in the shower, which I'm guessing Sheldon's not okay with either. They're giggling, and Sheldon charges Leonard with 2 points in their roommate agreement. Priya stops Sheldon. Leonard says he has a lawyer now, and he's seen her naked. I do like that. Like, she's my lawyer. I've seen her naked.
Side note, he actually did call out the same date of the air date, the
Really?
28th of April. Yep, he called it out.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even notice
Yeah.
that. That's some nice timing. Because, with that, like, sometimes, like, episodes don't air when they're supposed to. So,
Yeah.
nice. The 2 points are Leonard denied access to the bathroom in the case of an emergency. And 2, Leonard exceeded the maximum occupancy of the shower. This could be ignored in the case of water-soluble aliens. So I'm thinking of like the movie Signs where water kills
Signs.
aliens, right?
I looked into it. It's really the only film out there that has aliens vulnerable to
To
water.
water.
Yeah, there aren't any other movies, so he was definitely talking about Signs.
And it never made sense to me because you don't go to a planet that's like 90% surface water when
Well,
water kills you.
have you heard about that theory about like there's actually a bacteria in the water? Like
No.
it was a fan theory, so I don't know if it's actually canon, but the theory is that there's actually a bacteria or something in the water that kills them, that harms them, that made
That
them sick.
makes sense, and it actually connects with what I always get it confused with.
Because there is a scene where they see an alien just kind of dipping its head in the water and like drinking and everything, so they definitely need water.
Yeah, there's Orson Welles, War of the Worlds, where the aliens come in and they basically just fucking decimate humanity. The thing is, they had not adapted to our atmosphere with our microbials, and so some virus hits them and they all die out. And the whole point of it is that just because you can conquer a world doesn't mean you can conquer what you don't see or something. So I could see that link, that it's not just the water but the microbials, that Earth has stuff that you don't necessarily see right away. So, but I always get those two confused for some reason. Always assume there was a connection. That's interesting. So, anyways, no water soluble aliens in the apartment. Therefore, he has exceeded the maximum occupancy of the shower. Priya takes a look at the agreement, and Sheldon's kind of chauvinistic, saying, "Oh, it's pretty technical. Like, she's
I
not going to
thought about
understand
that
it."
too, but I don't think he was being sexist. I think he was just assuming everybody that's not him is a lower being.
That's a good point.
I thought about that too. But
He
I don't think
probably
he's
would have said it
yeah.
to anybody, man or woman, right?
Absolutely.
It
Yes.
doesn't matter. That, like, it's pretty technical.
And
Leonard,
another one more. Oh,
yeah,
sorry. I have a note to say, but we have to say good night.
it's good night time.
It's good night time. Hi, Bubba. Look,
Hey, Hunter.
look. Say hi to Ryan.
Hello.
Can you wave?
You're getting so big.
Say night night.
Night night. Night
All
night.
right. We're gonna go night night, okay? Oh, but what I was gonna say was the maximum occupancy of the shower. Do you think he added that into it because of Penny?
Ooh.
Because no one would really ever think of this in the past, and like this issue never got brought up while Leonard was dating Penny. So after they broke up, do you think that's when he added it? That's just it's a little theory that I came up with.
I could see him just putting it in there as because he has overnight visits, right, as part of
Oh,
it.
so you
So
think it was pre-Penny?
yeah, I think it was pre-Penny, but
Because
like
they never actually showed Leonard and Penny having shower sex. So
yeah.
I wonder if I wonder if he was actually like with Penny. Oh, we can't do it. It's in the agreement. But then again, why wouldn't he say that with Priya then? So that's what makes
Yeah,
me think that's why he added it.
that's a good point. And like, why would he think of that like in advance? That my roommate may have sex in the shower, so I should put. Although he might have thought of it, I just it makes more sense that he would have put it in after Penny. Like, that's something we need.
Yep.
That's an I need a dot, right? A T I need a cross.
Yep. But
Good
that's my side note.
note. That's got me thinking now. Okay, so where are we? Oh yeah, he says it's pretty technical, and Leonard mentions that Priya is like this major lawyer. She's licensed to practice law in 3 different countries, and in Sheldon's face. So, although
Top of her class in Cambridge.
that's that too, Cambridge. I I don't know. I guess it's different countries. I didn't like IQ point on this, but you don't get like a you don't pass a bar in just like one country. Like it's like state by state. So for me, I was kind of thinking like that might be a little confusing to say 3 countries because technically you can only practice law in one state, not the whole country. And I'm guessing it's the same for provinces in Canada.
Yeah, and look at that.
And
Yeah.
I wish I would have. I'm just thinking about it now, but I'm guessing
England,
that
right?
three.
You mean
Wasn't she
or
in Canada for a while?
oh, that's right. It's a Canadian car company.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was
Yeah, she
thinking
went to
that.
school in Cambridge and then she must be practicing in Canada. But
And
yeah, it's actually a good question. Which
what?
area?
Yeah. But now that you mention it, England, Canada, and U.S. But I was thinking India, Canada, and U.S. But I'm guessing it's England. She has no reason to go to India, does she?
They haven't mentioned anything.
Yeah, just her parents. Interesting. But 3 countries. Technically, she is practicing law in the country. It's just one place in the country.
Either way,
Anyways,
it's very impressive.
yeah,
Either
yeah.
way.
That's a lot. It's really expensive. I think you have to pay money too to like continue your bar membership and your legal membership. So she's getting paid big bucks. I bet she is.
Yep.
Good for her, man. Um, Priya says there isn't actually a case. There's nothing defining an emergency. Sheldon says emergencies are self explanatory. Priya asks if it would be an emergency if Leonard forgot to trim his nose hairs, which Sheldon says is irrelevant because Leonard doesn't trim his nose hairs. He thinks he's too short for anybody to see up his nose, so it doesn't matter. I like Leonard kind of looks down like, what the fuck? Like he's getting dragged into this. Priya mentions that ambiguity benefits the party who did not write the contract. And I'm not sure if that's completely true. I think it can benefit anybody who is looking to dissect, like we are dissecting the contract. But in this portion, the person attempting to poke holes into it usually goes for the ambiguity. Um, Sheldon says, but, and Priya cuts him off and says, there is no but. That's how the law works. Again, I'm not sure this is true, and I would think in law, but you'd probably have a precedent to cite what an emergency is in another portion of the contract. I can't assume that emergency is only defined here. And also, what doubles down on this is when I looked up, and I had to look it up. What was the word he said? A majora, force majora. That even by looking that up, the definition of it, there are examples of what it would be: riots, pandemics, earthquakes. So technically, there are examples of it. My issue is, or what I'm guessing what it would get down to, is that his having a 32-ounce banana smoothie would not qualify as force
Well,
majeure.
well,
Or
here's another thing that I thought about too is he was not technically denied use of the bathroom. So his first point is actually incorrect. They let him use it, he just chose not to.
that's a fantastic point too. He was never denied it.
They didn't she even like he never said Leonard never said get out. He just said I don't think you're going to want to do it because I'm not
Yeah.
alone.
And then it was his decision not to do it because he ran to Penny's.
Correct. Yep.
That's a really good point. So anyways, several reasons for why Leonard now says "scold." I like how excited he is about this. Priya mentions another section saying that when Sheldon showers second, any and all measures need to be taken to ensure he has hot water. And I was confused. What do you think that means?
I think she did say like I think that this kind of plays on the ambiguity of it too, where it's like, well, we left you hot water, so it doesn't matter. So as long
Oh,
because we didn't use up all the hot water and you're going second, so this supersedes your complaint. So it doesn't. It kind of it's a moot point.
I was taking it as they needed to conserve water, so by showering together, they were conserving water. But that would have meant that Sheldon would have showered third, and by shower making him second, I don't know. It was confusing wording to me. But
It was a bit of a stretch, and that's kind of why I took it as like ambiguity of it
yeah,
all. It's like you wrote that like you will do anything and everything to make sure that there's hot water. So we left you hot water, so you can't
that was
complain
the
about this. That's
end
kind of how
goal
I
that
took
we were
it.
trying to get done, so we didn't waste the hot water for you.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
because
That
that
makes sense
had more
too.
weight than the shower occupancy. That's kind of how I took it. I could be
Pre-
wrong.
Yeah, I'm curious if anybody else has an idea on what she means by the conservation of hot water, because
Yes, lawyers listening, please tell us
let
because
us
you're
know.
obviously out there. You're
how do you
obviously listening to our podcast.
how do you conserve hot water? Do you shower second? Whatever you want to say.
I do cold showers. What do you do?
Cold showers. Who uses hot water these days? It's so 2003. And yeah, again, I was still kind of confused that Sheldon wasn't actually going after, uh, well, I guess it still issues with the girl being in the shower, not just exceeding the maximum occupancy, but having a girl in the shower with guys when Sheldon has so many things about staying over guests. Anyways, I was scrutinizing that and saying, it's confusing. Anyway, Sheldon leaves and said, this isn't over. And I think what we're getting down to is that Sheldon tries to put so many ifs, ands, or buts into the contract that he always gets his way, even though they don't make sense. And I think I'm fair with that logic. It's just, again, they don't make complete rational sense. Leonard then says shower sex was the second best thing that happened today. And to that point, I wasn't sure they had sex in the shower. I thought maybe they were just showering together because you can have a shower together and it can be very intimate and romantic. It doesn't have to be full frontal penetration, right? So, anyways, good for them because I think it's really hard to have sex in the shower. It's just awkward positions. It's very slippery, and then the water gets cold and everybody's angry. I don't know. It's awkward. So we're at the apartment again, and it's dinner time. They're having Greek on pizza night. Raj says this is the cruelest thing they've done to Sheldon since they left the fake Stephen Hawking voicemail on his cell phone. Howard mimics the cell phone call and kind of does something that doesn't sound like Stephen Hawking at all, but it's like, hello, Sheldon, right? Wiggling his lips. Sheldon enters and he's very confused. It's pizza night. Priya mentions that it was Franconi's pizza night, but Franconi's has closed down. Sheldon agrees, but that's why they switched to Graziano's. Howard asks if they can just switch restaurants, if that's an okay thing. But according to the contract, as Priya states, a switch requires public hearings and a 60-day comment period. Those criteria were never met, and everybody except Sheldon says, "Opa!" Leonard hates Greek food, Sheldon points out, but not as much as he hates Sheldon, so he's eating the Greek food in delight, and that just seems kind of cruel. But
No,
like,
no, no, yeah, it's not as much as Sheldon hates Greek food.
uh,
Not.
oh, as much as I thought it was as much as he hates Sheldon. I'm like, God,
No,
that's
no,
kind of
no.
cruel. Like, I
That's
hate
mean.
Greek food, but I fucking hate you more, man. Like,
No, it's not as much as you hate Greek food.
I
and
gotcha.
and this kind of went into we talked about this like a few episodes ago, how like we were talking about something and I mentioned that Sheldon hates Greek food. Because we were
Uh,
talking about like the food that Sheldon eats, but he doesn't eat Greek food.
yeah,
God, I don't remember the context, but I'm
I
sure
remember
some
that
listener out there
conversation.
is binging and is like, "Yes, finally a payoff." But but that's what happened.
That makes so much more sense. Like, not as much as you.
Yes,
But
yeah.
I really like. I've watched it several times, and each time, I'm like, God damn, he's kind of mean there. Like, not as much as I hate you, you prick.
Not as much as Sheldon hates Greek food, which is
uh
crazy. It's like Greek food is amazing. You're obviously just not ordering the right thing.
I'm on the fence about it. I can eat it. I like
What?
it, but like, it's not going to be on my vote card. Like, if I have like 10 places to eat, it's probably going to be on the low end of.
God, I love me a gyro, like a fluffy pita, the lamb beef mixture hybrid hot dog Greek thing with tzatziki. I could put tzatziki sauce on anything. Like my God, the
Yeah,
yogurt with garlic and onion, dill,
I think it's the
mint.
cream sauce. For some reason, cream sauces get to me kind of weird. And again, I can eat them,
Uh,
but it's like a cheesecake. The first two bites are delicious, and the third bite things switch. I'm like, I can't eat any more of this, and I don't know what happens. And like, I can't say it's bad. It's just like those first two bites are amazing, and the third bite is like, mm. Um,
so
I
it's the yogurt sauce. So
I think so. I think so. I'm not
okay.
positive because I'm going to bring this up. I fucking love lamb. So anything with lamb, and although I would say that most American gyros, are made
I've
with
heard it
beef.
pronounced everywhere based off we talked about this before.
Yep,
Yeah.
gyros.
Yeah,
I,
I'm in a region where they say gyros, and I grew up in an area where it's called gyros.
I don't think beef gyros are as good as lamb, and they're always disappointing. I think that might be part of it too. Is that I'm like, I was really looking for a lamb one, and yeah, for some reason we just don't eat as much lamb in the U.S. as most countries have. So, huh.
Yeah,
How
it
about
can
you?
be polar. It can be polar. I love lamb. I
I
love
love lamb.
it. I haven't had it in years because my wife does not like lamb, so that means I don't get lamb.
Ah,
Yeah, and it's like I could always like buy like lamb chops and do it like myself and everything, but
hmm.
like it's just too hard to make two separate meals. It's
It's
just not gonna happen.
yeah. That's kind of my predicament too. I do it sometimes when I'm really craving it, but it's a lot of extra work. I remember in Japan, my ex-wife was fine with lamb, and lamb was cheaper than beef. And so we often did like lamb burgers, lamb meatballs with spaghetti, and just like did random lamb shit because it was cheaper. Um, I loved it. Then I came back here. I'm like, okay, lamb's hard to find. When I do, it's more expensive. So, ah. So, anyways, I can't say I hate Greek food. It's just I can't say I love it. Although yeah, would have no problem eating a lamb kebab, and Sheldon does, and for that reason, I'm gonna give myself a point for being not like Sheldon. He has to spit it out, and I
It did sound overcooked and chewy. I will say that.
that's true. I
As
would.
you're kind of I do a lot of mukbangs, and so I do a lot of meat like chewing listening to. Like, sorry, I'm one of those people, but it's like you could definitely tell that was very overcooked, and it made
Yeah,
me wonder if maybe it's just some certain spice that Greek food has that he just doesn't resonate with. That might be it too.
it could be like me with curry, and I know we've talked about my issues with curry. That is one that if I'm hungry, I will eat it, but I will complain every step of the way. I
Was that
remember
every curry, or was that a specific country's curry?
it's basically every curry at this
Thai
point.
curry,
Thai
Indian curry,
curry,
Japanese curry.
yeah. And I think it's the cumin
Huh.
in it. I think something about that. I know cumin gets used in other stuff too. I think it's used like in taco seasoning.
It's in a lot of Mexican food.
Yeah, and for some reason it doesn't bother me as much, but in curry, like it just
Well, maybe it's not the cumin because, like, honestly, like whenever I make curry, like it's in Indian curry a lot, but like Thai curry doesn't use cumin. Japanese curry doesn't use cumin. Maybe
and
you should try some of those. Maybe
I had a lot of Japanese curry when I was in Japan, and
OD'd on it.
none of them worked. And
Oh,
I
okay.
kept trying. I put in the good college effort.
Oh,
And again, I will eat it. I will never like waste food. I remember one time I was on an airplane and the steward came by and was like blah 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 blah. And I go, what are they offering? My dad said beef medallions and something with chicken. I go, I'll take the chicken. And I got it. It was chicken curry. I know it's chicken curry, Dad. He goes, I'm so sorry. And I ate it because that's what I ordered and that's what I was going to eat on that plane. But it was not. It started the trip on a bad note, I should say. Just not. I know a lot of people love curry. In fact, I think underneath my apartment in Japan there was
have you
a.
ever had butter chicken like that? I feel like that's a great entrance.
I have had butter chicken and I'm okay with it.
Still, okay.
Yeah, but there's something I don't even know. Maybe it's just the word. Like at this point, like it's ingrained in my head. Like, oh, this is delicious. It's curry. I fucking hate it. Like as soon as that
Curry
word
just
just comes out.
it just translates to sauce.
Yeah. Hmm.
Just imagine, just close your eyes and picture gravy. It's gravy.
I don't know.
It's not
I
gonna
don't know.
work.
I'm
All
trying, but
right.
all right.
At
So,
least you tried.
uh, and so yeah, I like Greek food more than that. And he's chewing, and he mentions that Greek food, Italian food are very similar. They have the same spice palettes. And I looked this up. This is my second IQ point, and for the most part, he's not wrong. Italian food, according to, and this is a restaurant blog, DeNicola's ItalianDining.com. They claim that the major Italian spices they use, or that everybody should use, are basil, thyme, oregano, rosemary, sage, bay leaves, parsley, and marjoram. I was kind of confused because they don't have garlic in there, but maybe garlic's not a spice. But other websites I looked at, garlic was usually put in there, so maybe that's considered just like the aromatic or whatever
Yeah,
that
I
the
wouldn't.
actual
Generally, I wouldn't classify it
as a
as a
spice.
spice.
And I guess like we dry it out and make it garlic salt or whatever for convenience,
Mm.
but it's still it's not really necessarily spice. Greek, and this was allrecipes.com to make a Greek seasoning blend, which is weird because the first thing they put on there is garlic. In this one, garlic, basil, oregano, cinnamon, pepper, parsley, rosemary, dill, and marjoram. So the big ones that I saw that were differences were cinnamon and dill. And that might be part of it too, is that in the savory dish, it's hard for me to. I say that, but I've had cinnamon rubs on chickens and turkeys and I've loved them. But I don't know, in sauces, cinnamon sauce, maybe? I don't know.
It's a it's a very small percentage of the seasonings in general, and it definitely really helps like without the sugar. Like us Americans are used to having cinnamon paired with sugar,
Yeah.
whereas like other countries are using it more as like a savory enhancer.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what's getting me is that I'm so used to cinnamon as cinnamon and sugar that when it's on the
This doesn't
savory
taste like
answer,
cinnamon toast crunch at all.
this is bullshit. Take your chicken.
What? I thought this was going to be Cinnabon.
This is not cinnamon. This is
What?
Greek. Who's heard of Greek? I want cinnamon bun. uh, So then I looked into something that might be part of the difference as well. According to HeyBigSplendor.com, they talk about the difference between Greek and Italian oreganos. And a Greek oregano has bigger leaves and thicker stems, and also has a stronger smell and more like pungent taste to it. So it's a stronger oregano. Italian oregano is a little bit softer, a little bit more mild. So maybe that's part of it as well, the difference between Italian and Greek food. And then from all around the web, differences between Italian and Greek foods, kind of basically known that Italian is more pasta based, more carb based, more about slow cooked sauces and low temp meat cooking. Um, Not necessarily completely low and slow, but a little bit lower. Where Greek is more about grilling and baking. And like we said, the yogurt based sauces like tzatziki. Is that how you pronounce it? Tzatziki?
Tzatziki?
Tzatziki. So that's kind of the go to that I remember, and I've made it. I've had some Blue Apron meals that I've prepared where you make it, and it's not bad. I can't say it's bad. It's just I don't know. When I think of that versus Italian, it's not the same. What are your thoughts, Greek versus Italian?
I've never really like. I can definitely see like what he was saying generically. The flavor palettes are very similar because they
Mhm.
use a lot of the same herbs and spices. But
Yeah.
when it comes to like the actual food, like the dishes, they're night and day. It's very different. It's like you said. Like I feel like Italians, it's more pasta based. It's more like slow cook sauces. It's exactly like what you said. It's very tomato based
Hmm.
and they're both all about like fresh raw ingredients, like singular ingredients. But like I definitely, it's different. It's
It's
similar but
different. It's
different.
different.
But like you said, the herbs and spices are very. There's a lot of crossover.
It's interesting what you can do with the same spices. You can make completely different meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize like now that you mention it, it's like yeah, Greek food does rely on like grilling and baking a lot, and that's
Right?
probably why it's so good. It has like that nice char to it,
It
like having
predates
like that
American
charred
barbecue,
meats and
and
yeah.
I do love charred meats. And I tell you, kebabs. I think my issue with kebabs is
Just stick it between a pita. You'll love it. You'll love it. Opa.
I always want more meat. Like I eat it like one kebab. I'm like, okay, that was $4. Can I have another? There's $4. And I'm like, "Arr," and I just like eat it all off the stick in one bite. I need something more substantial. I need like a huge hunk of just the whole goddamn lamb leg and I go to town. So yeah, but God, I do love kebabs. There's um my
What kind of
sister.
meat do you do for your kebabs? Like that's the thing of like it's so funny. Like people like the kebabs that they sell here at the market, they use the cheapest shit and they use cuts of meat that should not be used. Like
Oh
they don't use like the ones that you go to the store and buy.
yeah,
It's not sirloin. It's not fillet. It's like they use like chuck. It's
like
like why are you using chuck?
the stew meat
Chuck
that's
meat,
really
yeah.
tough and like. Ugh.
Like why are you doing that? So I guess
Yeah.
if you make it on your own. So that's what I was gonna ask you. Like what are you putting on your
I've never
kebabs?
actually made kebabs myself.
Oh,
That's one thing
okay.
I've never done. I need to try it. I remember as a kid, my dad used to make chicken skewers, kind of like kebabs, but I don't think we ever did actual beef or lamb or even pork kebabs. Hmm.
Yeah, chicken is never my first choice for a kebab. My mind always goes towards beef.
Hmm.
But now that you mention it, like I should do chicken and do like a peanut sauce and do like a satay. That'd be really good.
My dad used to do it was like chicken, bell peppers, and pineapple with like a pineapple sauce, and barbecue them. And they we have I'm gonna ask him to make some of those because I think it's been
Yeah.
probably a good 20 years since he's made them, and I have childhood memories of eating these. I'm
Is he
like,
gonna
oh,
remember how to do it?
he'll make something up. He's good at
I know it's
that.
so funny. Like I talked to my mom about like the dishes that she made when I was a kid. It was like 30 years ago. So she's like, I don't
I
remember.
know. That's what I'm
It's like,
afraid. It was like,
oh,
Ryan, we never ate that. That wasn't us. Like, oh God, who was I eating this with?
sad.
I was just showing up at somebody else's house and eating their food. Like, I love your kebabs. Get out,
So
shoot.
tasty.
It's
Get out of here,
tasty.
kid.
I have to pee.
The orphan showed up again.
He's always eating our chicken kebabs. Oh, Jesus. So, he keeps chewing awkwardly, and you can tell he's like, and that makes me think that it might not be Greek, just that one restaurant that's bad, like you said. It seems like those were probably poor choices of meat, and they were overcooked. And he tries to commend the Greek civilization. They gave us science, democracy, and little cubes of charred meat that taste like sweat, and he spits it out. And I don't know that.
I wonder if it's the cumin. But then again, wait, did they? Yeah, they. I don't think they actually have a lot of cumin
I
because,
don't
like,
think
I
so
feel
either.
I have heard people say like cumin smells like bo, so like it kind of does, but at the same time, I love it.
I
I can put cumin on anything. I
I
love
don't like
it.
saying it, but curry tastes like bo to me. Every time I've had it has tasted like bo.
So it because I was trying to pinpoint the flavor that Sheldon might not like, and
Yeah.
it and now that I'm thinking about it, it might be cumin because I don't think I've ever seen them have like a Mexican night. They do Chinese. They've done
They had the Tex-Mex night with Raja and Priya, but he
yeah.
wasn't there, was he? Did he show?
He
He
had
did
their
show up.
they had chili. You know what? There is cumin.
Come on.
Well, it's not really in Texas chili. It's not like it's more cumin is not in that. I mean, it's in chili, but it's not in a bowl of red, as we've
Yeah.
talked about.
Thing is, I love Mexican food, so I don't understand it completely. I can't.
But they've never had Mexican. Is kind of like the
That's
point that
true.
I'm getting.
So
Like you've never seen them have like a Mexican night.
yeah,
They do like a lot of like cafe stuff. They do pizza night. They have. I think they've had like pasta night. I've seen them eat pasta.
they have a lot of Thai nights and Chinese food nights.
But yeah, they haven't had a Mexican night, so maybe he doesn't like cumin.
Maybe that's what it is. Man, I do
Sorry,
love.
everybody, that we're spending so much time on food, but I'm also really not sorry at the same time.
I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a point because I do think 4-2-1. I can see how he thinks certain human-based foods taste like sweat. I'm gonna throw in there bo because however, curry tastes like sweat. So I don't know.
I don't think you're deciding the. I think you should keep trying. I think
You should-
a lot of Thai stuff does not use that stuff. Doesn't taste like sweat. It's very coconut based because they use coconut milk. I don't know how you do with coconut.
With that said, there is a soup I really like. There's a place nearby that makes like a coconut, and it's like a coconut curry spice base, and I do like it a lot. I can still taste the undertones of the flavors I don't like, but something about everything blends together really, really well that I can get by that, and I do enjoy it. I never turn. That would be high on my list of things I'd like to go eat. So there's that. I won't give up, and I will never kick food out of bed. So all right, so we are at Penny's apartment, and Sheldon is there saying the mean Indian lady tried to make him eat lamb, which again makes it seem like it's not necessarily Greek food; it's the lamb itself. But I think it's a mix. I don't think he likes lamb in general. He congrats Penny because she is now hosting pizza night and tells her to go order one. She is heading out though and invites him, but he hesitates. When she says they'll be trashing Priya, though, she says there's going to be some trashing Priya. He jumps on board and follows her down the stairs. Next scene is they are at a bar and the women are drinking. Amy says they're going to get crazy. And she does kind
It's
of
crazy.
crazy. Last
I
weekend,
love Amy so much in this.
she's good in this episode. She's really good in. Yeah, there's some good parts with her.
Amy is so amazing. I love how like she's just fully immersed herself in her new life. This is the life that I feel like in her early 20s was dreaming of.
Yeah,
Even in high school, like her parents just deprived her of like so much like socialization that she's kind of like glamorized this life and now she's living it.
and she's
And she's
made
just
it
like
work, and
so
she's gonna have
yeah, she's
fun.
soaking it in and everything like
Yeah,
that. And she's kind of bragging to like Sheldon a little bit like this is my life now.
this is my life. I'm gonna get
Good for
crazy.
her though.
Good for her. Last week they apparently smoked cigars and pretended to be dragons. That sounds fun, right? Sheldon chastises Amy, which he does a couple times this episode. Not a lot of discoveries were made by people having fun. That's so horrible. Amy asks Penny why she brought him because he's harshing her buzz. It's like, why'd you bring Sheldon?
I know she's getting into alcohol. Like her first taste of alcohol was like what the previous episode with a little bit of Kahlua, and now she's having cocktails.
Yeah, he's harshing my buzz. They start birding Priya, and they start talking about Priya's pantsuits. There's a commercial break, but we pull right back to the same scene where they're at the bar, and Bernadette is riding the chair. And I'm going to give myself a point for being not like Sheldon here, because I don't see Sheldon playing with chairs like that. I would play with my chair like Bernadette.
Wee.
I'm reminded, I worked at a news station for about a year in Nebraska, and I produced. So like when the show was going, I was basically the boss, like saying, do this, do that, right? It's not me at all. I was horrible at that job. I made it work. I faked it and never made it. So I don't know. But like, have you ever seen Death Note?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a character, Al, right? And he eats a lot of candy, and he sits in his chair with his knees up to his chest. And
He
that's
does
how
that
I,
kimchi. It's kind of that kimchi squat.
yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I would sit while I was producing, and I'd spin around my chair in the middle of the show. And I'm sure they were looking at me like, why the fuck is this guy giving me like any possible, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Woo! So, yeah, 1 point for being like Bernadette, because I don't think Sheldon would ever do that. That was, oh, time. Uh, Amy says Sheldon smells like baby powder. Sheldon says it's talc, but since that's the primary ingredient in baby powder, he understands the confusion. I have my third IQ point here because I was confused and I'm on the fence, but I'm going to go ahead and say he's right, and I would probably assume he's using it at that point in time. What we
Baby
know
powder.
now is that talc most likely causes cancer, and it's being stripped away from most products. And so what I have is talc is technically a natural occurring mineral composed of hydrated magnesium silicate. It's used to absorb moisture, so it's often used in like deodorants, it's used in baby powder, it's used in cosmetics. According to cancer.org, talc can contain asbestos.
Sound it out. Oh,
Asbestos. Wow, I don't know why that was hard for me. Asbestos, which is known to cause cancer. It's just we know that it causes cancer if inhaled. There is non-asbestos talc, which may or may not cause cancer. It seems the studies suggest it's a little confusing. There's a slightly higher percentage of people who have cases of cancer who've used it. On the International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, an international company that's part of WHO, they have it listed as probably carcinogenic to humans. So we don't know for 100% sure. We don't know to the point where there are lawsuits being thrown out because judges are saying we don't know where these people have cancer. I know what's coming up is lung cancer, ovary cancer, and other types of cancer. And judges are throwing these out, multi-million-dollar, if not billion-dollar class action lawsuits on lawsuits. And yeah, science is kind of saying we don't know, but maybe, probably, and most international organizations are leaning towards probably. According to asbestos.com, Johnson and Johnson ended the sale of talc-based products and at least talc-based baby powders in 2023 worldwide. They had
Dang,
discontinued
it
them.
took that long?
Yeah, yeah, that's what
Holy
confused
crap.
me is I have down here that the first lawsuit, major lawsuit, was in 2009. And so
Yeah,
technically,
like when you said that when they discontinued, my mind was thinking like 2005 or something like that.
right?
Holy
It's been
fuck.
ongoing. So technically, at the time of this, 2011, he might still be using talc and baby powder. However, it was becoming shit was hitting the fan that it most likely caused cancer. Uh they discontinued the products in US and Canada in 2020, so I don't know where they were still selling in 2023, but they've transitioned to cornstarch based products. Uh Apparently, I don't, there's some confusion here, but links have been made to the toxic asbestos fibers in it. But again, there's some links to the talc without asbestos as well causing cancer. And Johnson and Johnson still stands by that talc in its pure form is safe, and the fact that several court cases have been rejected and overturned kind of point towards that. Although they have a lot of money and they're fighting this a lot, really, really hard. They claim that these claims are based on misinformation, and the falling demand has led to their decision to discontinue the product, not that it actually causes cancer. Although more and
Marketing,
more, what
pretty
was that?
much at the end. It's marketing at the end of the
It's
day.
marketing at the end. Uh, in 2019, FDA found traces of asbestos in baby powder completely. And still, according to asbestos.com, there's still an ongoing 40,000 different talc lawsuits pending, stating baby powder has caused cancer. And I'm guessing Johnson Johnson sticks on their platform or sticks to their word saying it doesn't, because as soon as they say, yeah, it does, they have to pay out for all these lawsuits. So they are going to die on this horse. And there's some talks about bankruptcy and issues with bankruptcy due to it. So we're gonna see where that goes. But many cosmetics, deodorants, and medications still actually use talc. Although many have switched to cornstarch, you have to be careful with this and look into it if you believe it causes cancer, which it seems like it does. Although it's up in the air. So in 2011, the information may not have been as widespread as I thought. Like I assumed like back in 2010 that, or like I don't know when I started hearing about this, but I assume that it's been going on for at least 20 to 30 years and nobody's been using talc. But it in 2011, he might have been using it and not knowing or caring, and that the issues had not been as well known and documented, even though the lawsuits were starting.
Yeah, I remember like it was kind of a big deal. Like when we had Hunter, Christina was very adamant, like we are not getting baby powder, and I didn't do any research. I had no idea. Well, I was like, okay, as long
I
as you know what you're doing,
I went
cool.
on a deep dive on this, and what was the reason? A few years ago, I can't remember what I was using it for. I think I was using it for a dryless shampoo. And you can actually use baby powder for a dryless shampoo. Sprinkle some in, and it absorbs the grease in your hair. And most products have talc in them, or they did. And I was trying to find products, and it led me down this rabbit hole of talc-based products causing cancer. So I just assumed that people had known about this for a long, long time, like longer than I was thinking. And I should probably go through my drawer and see if I have any talc-based dry-based shampoos and powders. I guess I have manly powders.
It's not a toddler powder. It's a
It's
man powder.
manly powder. And I don't know. I use them when I'm mostly for dry shampoo. Sometimes if I'm hot, I might sprinkle some down there to help soggy pants issues. But mostly for
Go on.
go on. Talk about charred based pieces of meat. That's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
ew.
So, anyways, I thought it was kind of weird he was using it. Maybe he didn't know. I feel like if he did know it might cause cancer, he probably wouldn't be using it. And so that might be kind of a new thing.
Or
Uh,
maybe he's so knowledgeable about it that he's on the Johnson Johnson side and is not
Believes it
convinced that
doesn't
it's
cause it.
yeah.
Yeah. And it could be at the time that he was using a baby powder that was cornstarch based, not talc. But no, he says talc
He
specifically.
says
So,
it's talc,
yeah,
yeah.
it's talc.
The
So
smell is talc.
maybe he is on Johnson Johnson's side at that point. Who knows? But it makes it pans out. There we go. It pans out. Amy says he's like a sexy toddler. I like his expression. He's like, I don't know how to process that. Like catches him off guard. I love that. Penny asks if Sheldon ever kissed a girl, and basically just his family and a nun he did mouth and mouth with when she passed out from heat exhaustion. And Amy offers herself as an experiment and makes a kissy face.
She's
And
very thirsty.
she's very thirsty. Go her. She deserves
Yeah.
it. Sheldon says he knows nothing or knows everything there is to know about kissing and mentions several muscles and issues with it. Amy says
34 facial muscles and 112 postural muscles.
postural muscles. And Amy says blah 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 and kisses Penny instead. I love that. Like, just kiss me, give me some honey.
Yeah, Amy is quite the wild girl.
Yeah, she's fun.
She's leaning into it. I think it's a primary example of don't deprive your kids, otherwise
they will
they're
go
going
off
to go off the deep end. Yeah. But I actually have an IQ point on
Ooh,
this.
go for it.
More information about kissing.
Kiss, kiss.
Because he got cut off before he was going to talk about more.
Yeah.
But like I said, Sheldon says it requires 34 facial muscles and 112 postural muscles. So quite a bit of work just to kiss. And I found more information on the American Journal of Medicine. So the scientific name, or the scientific study of kissing actually has a name. And it's called philematology, which stems from the word philos, which is ancient Greek for earthly love. So thank you, Greeks, for Euros and
Earthly
the
love.
study of kissing. And when you talk about this, when you talk about the amount of muscles, Sheldon must be, well, scientists and Sheldon are referring to more of a passionate kiss, almost like a makeout session. That's what requires all those muscles, because a plain, simple little peck uses as few as 2 muscles. And kissing can burn some calories. It can burn up to 5 to 26 calories per minute. It's kind of a lot.
For just sitting there and going to town with your mouth. Yeah. Whoa.
And let's go into some sciencey things of the exchanging of fluids and other bacteria.
Oh, no.
Couples can exchange an average of 9 milliliters of water, 0.7 milligrams of protein, 0.18 milligrams of organic compounds, and 0.71 milligrams of different fats, along with 0.45 milligrams of sodium chloride. It did not specify how long it takes to exchange that amount, but you can. And
so, I'm guessing protein is just like layers of tissue that they're exchanging, and like, organic matter is like food in your teeth. Like, what would the organic matter be?
It did not specify.
Okay,
I'm guessing we are always shedding our skin.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing like your lips are like kind of like falling into it.
Sheldon, I have a piece of lamb in my mouth now. Do you have lamb in there?
I taste the char. And a little bit of cumin.
And a little cumin.
And as many as 10 million to 1 billion bacteria, representing 278 different species, may be exchanged during an active kiss, with 95% of these organisms classified as non-pathogenic for individuals who are immunologically competent. So basically, a lot of different germs are being exchanged.
But they're safe germs. It's okay.
Yes. And There are some pathogenic, non-safe organisms that can be transmitted by kissing. Upper respiratory infective viruses, herpes, and Epstein-Barr viruses, as well as pathogenic streptococci, strep throat,
Ah,
and syphilitic spirochetes, syphilis, and Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria. So a lot of nasty things can be exchanged through kissing.
mouth herpes.
Yeah, but don't be scared. Keep on kissing.
Just keep kissing. That's not a sales pitch.
Just keep on kissing, everyone. You know
Mm,
what? As long as there's consent, go for it.
earthly love. You know,
Thanks, Greeks. You taught us math and you taught us that.
I heard something about, I didn't look into this, but I've heard before that kissing has always seemed weird to me. Like, why are people fascinated on other people's lips? And I've heard before that psychology suggests that it has something to do with being a baby, mother baby relationship, and the notion that we suckle, or that technically before we had baby food, mothers would chew up their food and spit it into their babies' mouths. They would pre-chew it that way, like birds, right? And that's how they did it. That was life. People look at that now and think it's like horribly gross because we're programmed to think that, but that was life. And so there's some psychology thoughts that it's a Freudian concept that we want to kiss because it reminds us of being a baby again, and we're getting intimate and exchanging food, I guess. I don't know how much is logical of that, but I always thought it was fascinating because I'm always looking for a good reason. Like, why do we want to exchange all that bacteria and get pieces of what they ate for dinner in our mouth? Like that seems like most people would be like, that's gross. But they're like, let's make out. I can't say it's bad. I'm just like, why? Why does a brain work like that? So
Yeah, it's actually interesting. I've never put any thought into it, so yeah, thank you, Ryan.
now I'm just thinking about the protein I'm getting. Maybe I'll need some protein. Give me a smack.
Here's your 0.45 milligrams or however much it was.
Oh my goodness. Alright, so Amy says blah 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 and kisses Penny. Then they talk about going dancing, and Sheldon says no thank you, but he does know how to dance because he took dance lessons as a kid. And I'm gonna give myself 1 point for being like Sheldon. Because I've taken ballroom dancing, and I could see myself knowing some of the stuff. It's been a while, so I probably wouldn't know how to waltz right away, but I did for quite a while. Uh, and I did a IQ point on cotillions because I didn't think they really existed. And did you know anything about them?
No.
No. So he claims that he learned how to dance from a cotillion. And cotillions are apparently part of Southern life where kids learn manners. And that's kind of what I learned from a few different websites. According to southernliving.com, a cotillion is a program of etiquette education for middle school aged children, culminating in a final dance dinner. And it's not to be confused with debutantes. Debutante balls or whatever are more for young women becoming members of society. Uh, Debutantes balls are more about community service and learning to interact with the community and serve the community, I suppose. Cotillions are more focused on education, even though both of them typically come to a final dinner dance type thing. I just finished watching a show called The Summer I Turned Pretty, and it culminated with a debutante ball. So I'm like basing all this on that one piece of fiction. The word cotillion comes from the 18th century France, and England, where the word was used to describe a dance and is often considered the forebearer of the square dance. So I guess that's kind of where it's connected with the South too. But now it's more about etiquette, not just the dance itself. So I did a couple things from here. I did a look into some of the etiquette rules that they teach. And according to Southern Living, they had a big list of 34 different things, but some of the ones that I noticed that seem pretty big that I feel like everybody learns anyways. Some of them might be good though, is don't chew with your mouth open. Take your hat off when you go inside. Do not put your elbows on a table. Do not start eating until everyone else is served. That's kind of a big one because I was taught that. And I'm kind of learning that restaurants get your orders out and it's okay to start eating to make sure you eat it when it's hot. Uh, Although I was taught that you wait till everybody's served before you start digging in. I'm curious if that's changing or not. It teaches you how to treat guests as the best when they come over, to always take offered refreshments and always offer refreshments when you're hosting, always send thank you notes afterwards, if you go to a ball or something, not just text, actual thank you notes. Never ask for food if you're a guest. uh, if you're the host, always escort your guest out. It teaches you about standing for your elders and holding doors open for elders. And they made a point of this, that not just for women. And in fact, a lot of people complain like, oh, men don't hold doors open for women, or it's chauvinistic if they do. That, and I was actually taught this when I was a kid, that if somebody's behind you, open the door for them. It's common courtesy, that you stand out of the way and you pull it open for them. It's just, it's nice. A lot of people don't do that though, I guess. The next part was
These days, not so much.
these days, not so much. I went to a website called National League of Junior Cotillions, and this is basically an organization that composes cotillions for people across the country. And apparently, they have no chapters in Washington or Pennsylvania, so we're fucked. We'll never learn our manners.
We're just savages over here.
Savages. But they do have them in Texas. They have them in most states, and that they seem like a common thing. But
I
they
actually saw something like that on Instagram, and I thought it was like the most amazing thing. And not only would I want to take it, but I definitely want Hunter to take something like that. Like there's like an etiquette class where people would just like sit through a dinner and they'll walk them through everything that you're supposed to be doing at that dinner.
and
What
how to
do all
do
the
it and
forks
why.
means? How do you cut like and properly? How do you sit? How do you like talk to people and everything like that? It's like, wow, that's actually kind of great.
I remember learning one when I was probably middle school age. If you get a piece of gristle, proper etiquette from what I've learned is to spit it out on your fork or spoon and put it back on your plate. And I always assumed it was to spit it into your napkin, but it's actually you're supposed to spit it out in front of everybody and put it back on your plate if it's something that's unchewable. I'm like, oh, that's weird, but like you never know shit like that unless somebody
Yeah.
tells you. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm gristle. Just swallow it, I guess. Like,
I kind of enjoy the gristle.
just,
It's flavor right
it's
there.
like I can taste the cumin in it. There's no cumin in this gristle. Um, so this National League of Junior Cotillions actually have multiple groups. They have first through fourth grade pre-cotillion programs, for manners in the home, for shaking hands, for offering compliments, taking compliments, for how to behave at parties, to how to act at tables. So pretty basic stuff. Then they have fifth to eighth grade cotillion programs, which is kind of what seems like are the major ones, the middle school age. And these are how to deal with manners in dancing, like Sheldon learning to dance. It's how to handle gifts, when to give gifts, how to receive gifts, how to handle introductions, how to behave in group settings, how to handle conversation. I could have used that. I'm terrible at conversation, and we've talked about that before. Said paying and receiving. And I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to get to something here in a little bit that it's probably a precursor for. How to have etiquette in sports, so probably good sportsmanship, dress codes, how to behave in the home and at tables, how to behave in formal settings, how to be a proper guest or a proper host. And they sum it all up, say that they teach honor, dignity, respect, honesty, fairness, a caring attitude, accountability, and citizenship. Apparently, they have a post level for that. They have a high school cotillion program. that teaches how to pay bills, how to register to vote, how to submit taxes, how to apply for loans, how to buy a car, how to pay utilities, how to make a budget, how to dress for an interview, and more. And I'm thinking that's shit that high school should teach.
I was just gonna say that, like, that's something that I feel like everybody could benefit from. Like, they really
mhm.
should just freshman year or sophomore year. Like, you know how like in elementary school you have a section of like sex ed where you kind of just leave and do your sex ed. There should be a section in high school where you just kind of leave for like an hour a week and just do it.
So they are learning to like how to dress for job interviews, good stuff for high school, how to submit taxes. I remember talking to guys in my high school when they were starting like companies, web design companies and stuff, and I could have done that. I'm like, I don't know how to do taxes, and they're like, you're worried about taxes? I'm like, well, it's illegal if you don't file them. And they're like, oh, I should probably look into that. I'm like, you say you're running a company and you're not doing tax. Like, I don't know. The number of things kids are not taught, and yet they're expected to. In fact, I even met a guy from Sweden, I believe. He's like, I opened several companies when I was in high school. I'm like, how did you do taxes? He's like, uh, no. I'm like, oh, okay. So, anyways, the point of this is I was too afraid because no one ever taught me taxes, basic taxes. And I think a lot of people get into college or post high school and still have no idea how to keep a budget or what they're doing for taxes. It makes no sense to them. It's bad. But anyways, there are chapters and texts of this program, and I can see Sheldon definitely doing that. And I thought it was weird because I'd never really known what a cotillion was or that they were still going on. But the only thing is some of them seem to be religious based, and I don't know if I'm okay with that. Like how to act in church, how to praise God correctly. And I'm like, that maybe not some that's not something I really care to teach my kids or I would have cared for. But a lot of it is still very, very practical advice. All right, so they force Sheldon into a taxi to go dancing, and they tell the taxi driver to go somewhere to waltz. And this is my not an IQ point, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit. That waltzes are songs basically based on the 3/4 time signature, although it gets a little confusing because there can be songs that are waltzes and theme, and there can be other time signatures that still fall into the same category. So something as 6/8, which technically gets divided into 3/4, but technically 6/8 is a different time signature. I'm not a musician. This stuff is above my head. But I think it's cool. And I do know that it's basically waltzes or songs that don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. They go 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. And it gets a different rhythm, and each beat is like a different footstep. And that's how I remembered it in dance class. And you kind of move to that beat. And so he sings a waltz that is, I don't know, I forgot to look up the name of it, but it's kind of a well known one. And I'm like, are there any well known like pop waltz songs? And so I looked up some famous waltzes that you wouldn't think are waltzes. Again, some of them are kind of on the cusp and are debated, but I looked up and like I found sheet music for them that is definitely in 3/4 time, so they could be considered. The first one that came up that was probably the most argued one was Google Doll's song Iris, which was from the song movie City of Angels. How's that one go? I don't want the world to see me because I don't think that they'll understand when everything's made to be broken, blah, blah, blah. So that one is technically, there are parts of it that are in 6/8, but it does change to 4/4. The song by Seal called Kiss from a Rose, which is from the Batman Forever movie, is technically 3/4 time waltz music. A band that I like called Death Cab for Cutie, they have several waltzes, but one called Passenger Seat that I've always really liked. A song by the Eagles called Take It to the Limit, which is not one that I ever thought would be a waltz, but is a really good song. Come Away With Me by Nora Jones is a waltz. And apparently Piano Man by Billy Joel is a waltz. So again, songs like that you aren't even thinking could be broken down or transformed into a waltz. And I can't remember what I waltzed to in my waltz final for college, my college class, but it wasn't a song that was a typical waltz. Um, so the driver talks in Korean on his radio and hums the song Sheldon sang. The driver finds a place and takes them there. Amy starts singing I Kissed the Girl, Katy Perry's version. I know there's a different version of it that's a different song, but similar. And Sheldon looks at her and says, "What happened to you?" In the dance room, in the dance hall.
Oh, well, I will say, shout out to the driver. The driver's name was Ho Jun,
Oh, yeah.
and he was played by Arnold Chun. He was known for being in Bullet Train, The Man in the High Castle, Hawaii Five-O, and he's done some episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, he was in such a brief moment. I was thinking about Walt so much I forgot to look him up. So good call.
We give a shout out to all the guest actors, but then I forgot the old pervy man.
Oh, perfect man.
Whoops.
My mind was too dedicated to waltzing.
Yeah, I know.
Waltz right around the guest star. All right, so we're at the dance room as you look up the old pervy man. Uh, Sheldon is dancing, and a guy, the old pervy man, comes up and asks Bernadette to dance. And I like she says, "No, I'm engaged," as if being engaged somehow makes it so you can't dance with people. But you know, teach their own. And Penny says she will dance with him, and like he immediately grabs her ass. And I love her response. She just kind of goes with it and like picks it up and puts it back on her hip. Doesn't cause a scene. So she's a strong one. But it's like right on her ass.
The old pervy man looks like he's uncredited.
Uncredited. Is that his name in it? Old pervy man, or is
that's
like old
that's
man?
what I called him.
That's what I call him now. Now back at Amy's place, they're walking the hallway, and Amy asks if they are the smart ones, why don't they do this every night? You know, the booze is talking. And he asks her a math question, and she responds by saying her burps taste like cranberry. And that's apparently the answer to her question. She offers him a nightcap, and he says that he doesn't drink, and if she means an actual nightcap, he has one. And she mentions that she does have Yoo-hoo, and technically the name does beckon him in. Yoo-hoo, come on in, right? So he does enter. And he immediately points out, does it smell like smoke in here? And she says, that's Ricky. And holy shit, it's the monkey she's teaching to smoke. She's gotten addicted to tobacco. I love that.
Which we've mentioned before, or they mentioned before.
They've mentioned before. And apparently she's giving him emphysema. So the least she can do is let him hang out and watch some cable.
But I did notice that the lights were out and the TV was on. So what the hell, Amy?
What the hell? He just cares about his cigarettes, his menthols, apparently. And Sheldon asks, do you care about the secondhand smoke? And she says, a little bit, but the real danger is him eating her face off while she sleeps. I love the nonchalantness of her attitude. Like, it's really the worry is him eating my face. Ricky blows smoke into Sheldon's face, and they mention that he's kind of an ass. So I love Ricky. He's awesome. Sheldon brings up concerns about the roommate agreement and that he's frustrated with Priya. And Amy says, well, I can kill Priya. I can train Ricky to shoot a poison dart. And everybody loves monkeys, so nobody's going to convict us.
She's very quick to go to murder, which will happen again.
Right? It's the crazy... it's great. I'll kill her for you. Then she gives Ricky another cigarette because he's kind of acting up, and tells Sheldon he shouldn't surrender. He should play dirty, and that's when she starts twirling her hair and says, "Dirty, dirty, dirty," and that brings her to her next order of business, and she kisses him. And that's like the first kiss, right? Even though they've said they've slept together, they have not. She says she hopes her next actions won't be a comment on what they just did. She gets up, runs to the bathroom, and starts puking. And the next day, Sheldon has created a new agreement and needs Leonard's signature. He says he claims he'll blow everything up if Leonard doesn't sign. He brings up the Star Trek episode where basically he's playing chicken, saying, I will, like it's doomsday. Uh, and it turns out that he's going to rat Priya out to her parents about her relationship with Leonard if Leonard doesn't sign. So he's going to rat them out for sleeping together, right? And they start to argue. Priya says it's a big deal. Leonard doesn't get it, thinks she's ashamed. And Priya says that Sheldon has won. Leonard unplugs the computer, thinking that's going to fix it. And I don't know, he thinks unplugging the computer laptop is going to fix it. I thought for a second that it was the Ethernet, but even then they would have had wireless. So, yeah, that's not going to fix it. It keeps counting down. Priya says they'll give Sheldon anything he wants, or to give Sheldon anything he wants, or her and Leonard are done. So Leonard finally signs it. And I don't think I'm okay with any of this. Like, I feel like that's a real dick move on Sheldon's part. And I think it's a really cruel action of Priya. And the fact that Leonard gives in, all of it is like, oh man, there's a lot of tension in the scene to be worked out. And I don't feel like Priya had done anything to Sheldon mean enough to cause such a mean backlash. Like, I feel like that was cruel. And I didn't like Priya's reaction either. So, anyways, I'm curious what's going to happen because all of it was kind of cruel.
Well, I do have an IQ point
Ooh,
about this.
yeah.
And I'm going to start off by saying I know she was panicked, but at the same time, for Priya being as qualified as she is she not a very good lawyer? Because contracts are nullified under duress.
Ooh.
I found this on multiple sites, on multiple law sites, but what Sheldon put them through is classified as duress or coercion. So, anytime you are put into a position to sign a contract against your own will, in extreme cases, there are threats of physical violence or death, but this counts as it because it's psychological pressure. Or
Blackmail.
lies about what could happen to you if you don't sign is classified as duress.
Mm-hmm.
Other ways are threat of violence, threat against personal liberty, extraordinary economic pressure, unconscionable or bad faith in bargaining process of terms, misrepresentation or fraud, non-disclosure of information that is material to the contract. And then there are terms that are impossible to satisfy. So as we're looking at duress and what it is, the key to determining whether it was duress is looking at how the actions affected the alleged victim's ability to make an informed decision. This, by its nature, it is a subjective assessment. So whether or not there was duress as a legal matter may not just depend on whether a reasonable person would have felt unduly pressured. It depends on the facts of the case and the specific relationship between the people involved. So I know this could be a little bit of a gray area because like they're talking about like, well, I'm just going to tell your parents. It's like, does that really count as duress? But if she is a good lawyer, she actually could count that as duress because you don't know what the situation is like with her parents. You don't know what their state of mind is. So she could arguably say that by telling her parents of her relationship with Leonard, it could cause psychological stress and it could potentially lead to a potential mental breakdown and could affect their lives in a negative way. As in, like, this information caused a poor work performance and even eventual loss of a job. It can be classified as duress, especially because Sheldon put a time limit on their decision.
A time limit that caused him not to have enough time to even read through the contract before signing it.
Yeah, he couldn't even read through it. So that's like part of it too. Like, how does he even know what it is? He doesn't even know what he's signing because he was psychologically pressured into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked into this as like Priya would know this as a lawyer because I looked into she went to Cambridge, which is in England. So I looked at where what the law says in England, and it's the exact same thing. They treat duress as the same as in America.
Yeah.
So I understand that, like, Sheldon was just like, I understand why she did it. I
Mhm.
understand why because she kind of panicked. Like,
Yeah.
she wasn't thinking. So I totally get that. But at the same time, once the dust settles, they they could easily just calmly talk to Sheldon and say, hey, you can't blackmail us like that.
Yeah.
That's illegal and we could actually sue you. But then
And
again, it's one of those things like the damage was done at that point.
I do know that they have built up her relationship with her parents. Is that her relationship with her parents that they are uh, I'm not sure if racist is the right word, but they are really against her having a relationship with a white American man, right? That they want somebody of the same race, ethnicity, or they said a Jewish person would be fine too because they have good jobs, right?
I think in the future, I don't think we've gone through it yet, but I think they have the same thing with Raj too.
yeah, I don't think they've gone through it as much, but I wouldn't be surprised if they bring that up for him. I just know with
But
because they were FaceTiming in the last episode, and she kind of kicked Raj when he said she doesn't even sleep here, and she says, "Oh, that's just a figure of speech that I work too much, right?"
yeah,
So yeah, I can see why she panicked. I understand that. I
there
just
is a lot of they are very close with the family, so like their thoughts and opinions really mean a lot
mhm.
to them. And God, I was gonna research this, but I didn't highlight it, but I was gonna talk about like the percentages of interracial relationships between Indians and other cultures.
Mm,
Because I guess that's one thing. I'm not trying to like politicize this or anything like
yeah.
that, but but a lot of like Asian countries are known for only wanting their children to basically be with their own racial background.
Yeah.
Like
Religions are
Asians are
too, right?
really, yeah, same
Catholics and
thing.
Christians and Jews, it's hard to go outside the faith, right? Your parents can
Yeah,
scold you for that. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but like being American, like I grew up American, it was never really a big deal for me. But like if like, you pick me up and drop me back in like China, it's kind of a bigger deal there, and
I
it still kind of is.
think it was kind of a big deal for my parents. It was never a big deal with me. It's kind of like whatever. But
You're a boy. Who cares about boys?
yeah, you're getting a woman. Good. That's all you need to do. Figure it out.
Like Ryan, I just need you out of the
Out
house.
of the house. My mom was Catholic and my dad was not. So I think that caused some problems with my mom's like grandmother or something. I can't remember. But at the end of the day, it didn't really freaking matter. It was just there was some, and I can see if you go back like two more generations, it probably was unheard of not to date another Catholic. So yeah, I can see that family culture, not just nationality, but family culture too, that she was raised by parents who were so strict on it that it's hard to break out of that. Yeah. All right. Anything else about that one?
No, but I loved researching that, and the whole time I was thinking like, Priya, for as good of a lawyer as you are, you should have thought quick like
Yeah.
Sheldon. One, you're blackmailing us, and two, like this is nullified. Like you like this even if we sign it, it means nothing.
It means
But
nothing
then, but like I said, Sheldon is childish enough where he could just hit send
at any
regardless.
time, right? Yeah, even
Yeah,
if he loses. So he's shown his hand of cards, and
yeah.
she would have to face those ramifications. Although we get to the point too where and what Leonard and Priya start arguing about is she ashamed of him and will she ever tell her parents? And she's making it sound like someday, but I'm getting the hint that maybe some days
It
a never
it's
day.
not the right time, but at the same time, I feel like Leonard. I was actually a little irritated at Leonard. He's being very selfish about it. It's like this literally has nothing to do with you. This is about Priya and her relationship with her parents.
Yeah, and if he
So it's
knew
like,
her at all, he'd know that that relationship is very tense. So,
yeah, like just even knowing Raj and how he turned out, it's like,
yeah.
yeah, you've kind of met his parents in passing and everything like that. You've seen how like they're stern, like you're afraid of them.
But as soon as she tells her parents or lets them know, the contract is it's in kaput, right?
Yeah.
It's worthless.
If it ever
So
happens, maybe it will.
maybe it will. Maybe
I'm kind of. If you're on YouTube, you can see me winking like
he's winking at
very
me.
terribly.
I don't know if it has to do with the show or just he likes me, but he's winking.
Maybe a little column A, maybe a little column B.
Alright, so yeah, she's should call out the duress, or Sheldon should be smart enough to understand that could not hold up as a contract. But he walks away cocky like, saying, "You may have gone to Cambridge, but I'm an honorary graduate of the Starfleet Academy," which is also weird because I don't feel like the Starfleet Academy teaches people to blackmail and
That's
manipulate.
true.
So it's like all
Yeah,
weird.
that's just Kirk.
Right? That's just Kirk. He's kind of a jackass. Um,
He'd blow smoke in your face.
yeah, he's an ass. Was he blowing smoke in my face? I love that monkey. All right, so back at the apartment, and it's still morning. Amy calls Sheldon, and she is hungover. She's not put together. Her eyeglasses are all over the place, and she asks what happened, and he explains that she gave him some excellent advice. She kissed him. She puked for 40 minutes. She passed out. He gave her a towel as a pillow. He set her effing clock because it was driving him crazy, and he left. As much as a jackass he can be, I think it is sweet that he stayed the 40 minutes and made sure she had a pillow. I would have assumed he would have said, "Oh, she's sick, I'm leaving." So I do appreciate and respect that that's where he's at the relationship. There's some caring there. She says she doesn't know where to go from there. And he says, "We treat it like a crashed computer. They can reset the relationship to the last point it was working." She says she's okay with that, but then starts yelling at the monkey because apparently the store was all out of menthols and he needs to get off her back. Like the monkey's just like yelling, "I want menthols" in the background. She says it's not easy living with a temperamental primate. In the background, Leonard and Priya are fighting, and Sheldon says that Amy is preaching to the choir, and that's the end. And so the vanity card. We are on Chuck Lorre Productions number 341. This is kind of a longer one compared to your last week's shorter one. It says, "Thanks to the magic of computer graphics, the monkey in tonight's episode was not actually smoking a cigarette, nor was he ever exposed to secondhand smoke. At all times, every effort was made to make the monkey feel happy and safe. Nevertheless, he proved impossible to work with. During the week of production, his behavior became increasingly erratic, to the point of refusing to come out of his trailer to rehearse. It wasn't until after we finished filming his scenes that we learned why. The monkey is a heroin addict. Yes, hard as it may be to believe, the monkey had a monkey on his back. Thankfully, an intervention was staged by the Geico lizard, and he is now going through detox and a 12-step program at the Bonzo Center in Palm Springs. Everyone at the Big Bang Theory wishes him well." Poor Ricky.
Poor Ricky.
Although I have heard that in filming, working with animals and children are nightmares. Although I feel
Yeah.
like usually working with children, production companies try to extort them a little bit. Like they don't know what they're doing. We can just like overwork them or not have to worry. But at the same time, I've heard that it's a pain in the ass as well, trying to get them to behave and do their scenes. Which is why I've heard that a lot of like sitcoms will use twins, like the Olsen twins, or the
Like the
Jesse.
child labor laws are pretty extreme where they have to like everything stops after like 8 hours or something like that. Like they
Yeah.
literally have to stop like production or something. So
Whereas
yeah, it makes
adults, you can
sense.
just
And
say,
animals like requires a lot of training.
mm,
Yeah, I listened to the the Office ladies, and they actually talk about the episodes that they do,
Mhm.
and they shockingly have a lot of animals because like
Really?
Angela, the cat lady, they have like
Oh
so they're
yeah.
always using cats, they've used dogs, they've used like all these different animals and everything, and they have like one place that they go to that has all these trained animals. But like you can't just take the animal and just do the scene. Yeah, you have to like warm up to the animal. You have to like make sure that they're comfortable and safe and everything like that because it's an animal. They go wild. Somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. Have you ever seen what is it? Nope.
No,
Jordan
I
Peele.
heard great things about that.
Uh there's one of the characters who is a childhood star, and it's like his background there's a whole lot of other story, but his background was he was on a sitcom when he was a kid, and it was him and like a chimpanzee lived in his house or something, and one day on filming, the chimpanzee just goes crazy and starts killing everybody. And it's like it's a terrifying scene. Like Jordan Peele handles it so well that you're like, oh god, this is gruesome. But they're wild animals, and if you don't treat them like that, or I mean, handle them respectfully and understand that, you could get somebody could get hurt.
All right, I counted up some IQ points,
IQ
and
points.
are you counting the waltz thing as an IQ point?
Nope, nope. That was just for fun.
Okay, then it is 6 IQ points.
Good. Wow, that's a good number. That's more than we've had in a
Yeah.
while. And we've actually gone up two on both sides. So we are at 130 to 125. 130, me not like Sheldon. 125, I am like Sheldon.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Any last minute thoughts on this amazing episode?
I think that's it. Great episode. And we got a shit ton of story coming. This was not a filler at all. This is stuff's
No.
hitting the fan with the roommate agreement, with how Penny and her friends are behaving or seeing Priya, and Priya's relationship with Leonard. So I'm not a whole lot of Howard and Raj this episode, but that was okay. I'm sure they'll come back strong next time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again for listening. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and email us at theoreticalnonsensepod@gmail.com. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and we will see you next time when we talk season 4, episode 22, The Wildebeest Implementation. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
This was Theoretical Nonsense, the Big Bang Theory watch along podcast. No PhD required. Our intro and outro music is by Alex Grohl. Thanks for listening.